Hey guys, Marjorie Rhodes here. If you do not know me, I am the Truckers Accountant and I help million-dollar transportation companies pay the least amount of money in taxes and increase their profit margin with tax and business strategy. So today I want to talk to you guys about the three things you want to consider when transitioning your drivers in your fleet from a 1099 to a W-2. There are some things that, well, you're probably thinking that you're having trouble with. You don't know, you're overthinking it, you don't want to think too much about it. Before you know it, a year has passed by, nothing has happened, you don't know how much it costs, and you just don't know what to do. So I'm going to give you some pros and cons for if you're going to wait to do this in your fleet. So one of the pros that you can, well, one of the cons that you will have is that if you wait too long, you could potentially lose a great driver, and you don't want to lose a great driver just because you're sitting and being stagnant on something that you can just seek a professional to know. The next thing is knowing the cost of actually knowing what the cost is, so you do not lose out on the cost, and also avoiding tax penalties. So you don't want to do, you want to, those are the pros and cons, but let me tell you what you need to consider when you're doing it. So before you get into all the things that you want to do, consider these three things when deciding if you're going to transition your company driver or your 1099 driver to a W-2 as opposed to just a contractor. So the first thing is that you want to focus on where your company wants to be. So what type of company are you building? What brand are you building? Are you building a company that is fly by night? You don't really care, you're trying to get your drivers in and out, that's different. But if you're trying to build a sustainable $1 million business, you want to build that, you want to consider the brand that you're building. So you want to be able to keep your drivers, and hence keeping the drivers, making them W-2s, that will be a benefit to you. The second thing is that you want to consider is the actual cost that it will take for you to transition that driver from a 1099 to a W-2. It's not going to be a simple process. Well, it's a process. The process is the process, but most people, they go in and they just say, "Oh, I'm just going to transition that driver," and they don't necessarily know what it's going to cost, and it could end up costing you a lot of money or losing you a lot of money in the business. So consider the cost, knowing exactly what it will cost, and then last but certainly not least would be creating a checklist for you. Consider creating a checklist that you have internally, so that you can have something to check off to make sure you're not missing any deadlines or any tax guidelines or regulations, because tax penalties can equal a lot of money, and you don't want to just be having or not having the internal check marks that you need. Okay, so the three things that I want you to consider when you are looking into transitioning your drivers, your 1099 drivers, to a W-2 is that I want you to consider uh, where your business is going, what you want your business to stand for. That's the first thing you want to do. The second thing is, what is the exact cost of hiring a driver or switching that driver from a 1099? Would it be more beneficial for that driver to be a W-2 as opposed to a 1099? And then actually determine where your current systems are at right now, in the place that you're at. Can you withstand a W-2 driver? Because the IRS or the state tax regulations are a little bit more rigorous when it comes to you having the guidelines or doing what you're supposed to do for the tax preparation when it comes to payroll. So make sure you're considering all of these things. There is no right or wrong answer. I just want you to consider it. And then if you're looking for help with determining whether this is the case, we do offer services for helping clients to um, scale their businesses and set that foundation that they need, of course, increasing their profit margin. So in this case, that may be one of the things that we do to help you to increase your profit margin. Until next time, I will join you guys. I'm going to be coming on live to give you more tips on how to scale your business, increase your profit margin, and of course, pay the least amount of money in taxes. And shifting your driver from a 1099 to a W-2, it has benefits. The benefits could be that you are increasing your driver's retention rate. And increasing your driver's retention rate, we all know that you don't want to keep having to hire. Sometimes it's costing more money to keep hiring drivers as opposed to keep the driver that you knew was doing a great job to begin with. You just didn't want to transition them to that 1099, or you waited too long and then that driver went to another company. All right. So until next time, I'll see you later. Remember, I am Maishree Rose, the trucker's accountant. If you are in need of help, go ahead and click the link below or in the bio to get more information and work with me. I would love to learn more about your business and see if we are a good fit to work together. Until next time, bye.